20 years ago, when Bill was 8, his grandfather and I took him on his first fly fishing trip. We spent a week in the Sierras above June Lake, where he learned to cast a fly and let it drift until it attracted a hungry rainbow or brown. After that, the three of us took several other fly fishing trips together, to the McKenzie River in British Columbia and to the Kootenai in Montana. My father-in-law Bill passed away 3 years ago, but we saw no reason to stop going on our fly fishing adventures. So here we are in Argentina, fishing the rivers of Patagonia, where it's summer in February and the trout are hungry. Our 6,000-mile journey to Patagonia began Friday morning, February 15th. I received a text then from Delta saying that our flight from Orange County to Atlanta was delayed and we would miss our connecting flight to Buenos Aires. I immediately called Bella at his apartment in San Clemente and told him to meet me at the airport ASAP. We had to get on an earlier flight. Bella met me at John Wayne, and we were told there was a better chance of catching a flight out of LAX. So I jumped in a cab and began the first leg of our 30-hour journey up the 405. We were issued 2 middle seats on a flight leaving in a few minutes for Atlanta. We took them, but as it turns out, our luggage didn't. Finally arriving in Argentina, we were met at the gate by Barbara, our guide, who took us to the domestic airport several hours away so we could catch our final flight to Bariloche. In Bariloche, a driver picked us up for the 3-hour journey through the Andes Mountains to our final destination at the Patagonia River Ranch. Along the way, we stopped at San Martin to pick up some fishing clothes that we'd need until Delta could deliver our luggage. We finally arrived at the ranch late at night to be greeted by our hosts Sebastian, Erica, and Antoinette. They had a cold drink and a hot meal waiting for us. The ranch was a beautiful lodge built 12 years earlier with all of the comforts of a 5-star resort. Sunday, February 17th, after a hearty breakfast, we donned our new fishing clothes and headed down to the Chimihun River to meet Eduardo, our fishing guide for the next 6 days. It didn't take long for our rusty casting skill to kick in, and we were dropping caddis, mayfly, and streamers just upriver of our hungry prey. Each day we caught at least a dozen rainbow and brown trout, with the average length 18 inches long. The largest was a 23-inch brown caught by Bill on the Malayo River on our 3rd day. The flies we used were works of art, each made by hand to simulate the food that our fish were looking for. Eduardo would expertly select the fly that he thought the trout would be looking for, and then patiently tied them onto the thin monofilament line for us to cast into the river. Hour after hour, day after day, we cast into the flowing rivers of Patagonia, caught and then released some of the most beautiful rainbows and browns that I've ever seen. The fishing was great, but so was the time spent enjoying the beautiful scenery and the camaraderie that we shared with one another during those days. Every afternoon, Eduardo would beach the boat along the shore and then set up a gourmet lunch for us prepared by the head chef from the ranch. We enjoyed Argentine wine with every meal, and the pastry chef sent along a tasty treat for the end of each day. Back in the water each afternoon, we continued to catch our fill of big rainbow and brown trout. At the end of each day, our driver would drive down to the river's edge and meet us with the truck and trailer to take us back to the ranch. Every night, all of the guests, 14 of us in total, would gather at the bar and tell lies about how many fish we caught and how big they were. On the final evening, we would gather outside for a famous Argentine barbecue, where we had one last meal with our new friends. Saturday, February 23rd, we left the ranch and flew to Buenos Aires over the Andes Mountains of South America. In Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina, Belle and I explored the city, going to museums, a zoo, and enjoying a great steak dinner that night. The next day, Sunday, we made arrangements to go to a football game where we saw the home team River Plate take on San Martin. We were joined by 65,000 screaming fans cheering on their home team in the stadium before leaving to find a pub to celebrate our journey. Monday, February 25th, our final day in Buenos Aires, we met up with Gigi, the owner of the tour company that we used to show us around the city. In the Rigolota Cemetery, we were shown the crypt of Eva Perón and heard about her amazing story. Lunch was on a rooftop smoking club and bourbon bar, where we enjoyed a meal with our guide before relaxing for the 10-hour flight home that night. Along with these pictures, Bill and I both took home great memory of our time together in Patagonia. Triste pena, ya dejemos ya.